tiara okin yuk achiliu kon yo ore ne runga die on tiara okin yuk achiliu toyina piai wala rumbe kain ping William toyina will wala bibor kain ping William toyin Juba wala tori yo kain ping William toyin Benti wala kwaju kaya wow kain ping William toyin Malkal wala pinyaram kain ping William
Pandile Legisted in a young Bible, Pinyara, where in a young Wawadia, Pindile Legisted in a young Bible, Pinyara, where in a young Wawadia, in a bull wearing, in bull elected, when a bull rally jump, when a bull was fine, and you're the garden, a good young polito, a garden of a bog with young polito, Kubolo Makur, Kuma young Makur, a better medit, Kaganyo by the being of Pinom, and you're the garden, a good young polito, a garden of a bog with young polito, Kubolo Makur, Kuma young Makur, a better medit, Kaganyo by the being of Pinom, a tijal, a jar, a boo jagir, a boo yellow, a boo jagir, a boo yellow, boo jagir, boo jagir America, a boo jagir, boo jagir China, a boo jagir, boo jagir London, a boo jagir, boo jagir Dubai, a boo jagir, a boo yellow.
toyina piai wala rumbe kain ping William toyina will wala bibor kain ping William toyin Juba wala tori yo kain ping William toyin Benti wala kwaju kaya wow kain ping William toyin Malkal wala pinyaram kain ping William Media.
Welcome to Lagos State Media Beyond Boundaries. All our viewers, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are tuning in. Please join us and share this video to all your in circle. Today is Sunday here in Australia, 25th of November. Is already it's Monday anyway, midnight, and it's still Sunday in East Africa and also in USA. Welcome Honorable Laul Dau and also SG Majok Makur Malak. Take the mic to welcome the guests and continue the show. And for those in the clubhouse, we turn off the raising hand, and we will be listening throughout the conversation that we are going to do here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Isaac Tiang. To our viewers, wherever you are tuning in, welcome to Lagos State Media Beyond Boundaries. Today, as my colleague has mentioned, we have one of the guests in the studio, somebody who is familiar with us as Lagos State Media, and most of you might have come across his interview. This is not his first time. He has been with us for all long, and he always comes to speak on the affairs of our country. And our today discussions or conversation will encompass the political issues in our country, and most especially the TUMAINI Peace Initiative that is ongoing in Nairobi, Kenya. As most of you are very much aware that our government, the government of national unity, is still negotiating with the whole out groups, which they refer to, in order to find an everlasting peace in our country. As that being said, I'm requesting all of you, especially those who might have joined us already, to share the live show on your platform. And on that note, it will invite many South Sudanese to join us so that they can listen to get the first-hand information, because we are living in the era of disinformation, misinformation, and misrepresentation of the fact. And that is why we, as the media, have to play our role to make sure we bring the people that you ought to listen to them. That being said, permit me to welcome our guest, Honorable Laul Dau, the Secretary and the Spokesperson of SOMA, who are so much engaging in TUMAINI Peace Initiative, Nairobi, Kenya. Honorable, as Leg State Media, we are glad and we are humbled to welcome you back. It has been a while, and we really appreciate your time. Thank you. Give us your opening remark before we dive into our conversation. The chance is yours.
Well, thank you very much, my brother Majog Magur and Isaac and Madet Majag and the whole Lake State family. Allow me to greet you on behalf of SOMA and other opposition groups who are negotiated here at TUMAINI initiative. I am happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that brief opening remark, Honorable. Most of citizens, honorables, have been patiently waiting to hear from SOMA, and most especially the whole out group or the oppositions who are negotiating with the government in Nairobi, Kenya. Kindly, can you brief the public and most especially the citizens of your country who have been yearning for peace for the last almost 13 years now, or 11 years or 12 years or so? Kindly, the chance is yours to brief the people in regard to the TUMAINI Peace Initiative. Thank you.
Once again, I want to thank you for the opportunity to allow us to speak to our citizen. As I can see, people already listening and joining from Juba, across South Sudan, our citizen in diaspora, and here in the East Africa. What the TUMAINI, as you mentioned before, is a Swahili word for hope. It is a hope that His Excellency President Salva Kiir has requested from His Excellency Dr. William Ruto to mediate between us and the government of South Sudan. And as opposition, we have welcomed it, and you are all aware of how the launching came about back in May at the State House in Nairobi. And from the time we came here, our position as SOMA and other opposition group has always been very clear that this agreement, you know, Brother Majok, there are so many agreements that have been signed in South Sudan since 2013. Unfortunately, all these agreement ends up focusing on elites, power sharing, and their cake at where to sit in the government. The TUMAINI initiative is geared towards our citizen. It is basically a rescue plan that we and the government delegation and the stakeholders came together and agree on a rescue package that will rescue our country. We have, from May until the time the government left, we have achieved and concluded 9 protocols. The first among them was a protocol on humanitarian assistance. As we speak, our country is facing serious economic challenges. More than 8 million people of our citizens in Wau, in Awil, in Rumbek, in Malakal, in Akobo, across South Sudan, even in Juba, are facing food shortages. People are hungry, no food. And because of that, we are appealing to the international community to help our citizens with food, with humanitarian needs. But also, we have a message for them that South Sudan, you are going to help us, but it is a temporary help. This country will get out of this. We will become a member of the region, the IGAD and the international community that will finally help the citizen of the world to provide. And actually, South Sudan will end up helping the UN to deliver food to other countries. So we will do that through TUMAINI initiative. That is another issue that are facing our people, and we need a protocol on that. On the other hand, we are faced with serious natural disaster. The country is facing a serious flood unseen before in the history of South Sudan. Now the whole country, except maybe one or two states, are a bit better when it comes to the floods. That too, it is above and beyond the government. So we need the protocol and humanitarian assistance. We are calling through Lake State media to make sure our citizens are rescued and help in time of humanitarian needs. This is in addition to millions of our people who have been suffering for so many other reasons. That is one. We have a protocol on confidence building measures, which will address the issue of that facing the confidence among our leaders. As you know, Brother Majok, a journey to an independent South Sudan has been a very long and a difficult journey. And throughout this, our leaders have done terrible stuff to themselves and to the country. And because of that misunderstanding between them, between the leaders, it ended up affecting the country. And we have a protocol on confidence building measures, which will actually, through it, everyone will have to know that South Sudan is bigger than all of us. It is bigger than anyone and everyone. All of us are South Sudanese citizens, and we need to know that this country is bigger than the president, than the vice president. We are all citizens and we are equal. And that's what we need to understand through these confidence building measures. And that protocol encompasses so many other things, which I will not have time to narrate them. But this is also we have agreed with the government. Then we have a protocol on communal and armed civilians. Today, as we speak, our country is facing communal violence. If you take the case of Bahra Ghazal, only in Bahra Ghazal, one clan, the Dinka clan, in Twitch and Abia are fighting themselves. You cross over, within Warab, they are facing communal challenges. You cross over to Lake State, I am happy that the current governor, General Reen, has managed to stabilize the situation. There is peace in the area. But also that one is not enough. We need to follow it with judiciary reform. We need to make sure that people are treated and are managed and controlled by laws. Because this is where you build institutions, that this is what will last better than one man trying to handle everything by himself. Again, in the border between the Dinka community in Warab State and and Unity State, you can see the cattle rustling. You cross over to Jonglei State. There is a serious problem between the tribe there. Child abduction, cattle rustling. Okay? And then within Jonglei and Equatorians, there is a lot of issue of cattle and farming. All these issues, even in Greater Upper Nile, you go to Malakal, there is a serious crisis and problem between Dinka in Malakal and Sholo. All these are people who have lived together for centuries. But as we speak, all of them are fighting themselves. That too has to end, and we have a protocol on that. This is part of the rescue plan that we are working on. The other protocol was a protocol on security sector reform. Our army, our national security, our police, all the security sector has to be reformed. And we agree with the government delegation that was here. We are going to establish security sector reform. It is a commission that will be independent. It will be led by an independent, neutral body, led by a non-partisan South Sudanese, military and security experts. That leader, plus security expert in the country, in the region and international community, will work together and lead our security sector reform. Not forgetting that we are also having a protocol on economic reform. As I told you earlier, the country is facing serious economic challenges. Therefore, we are agree with one of European countries that we are going to organize a donor conference, and that donor conference, it is going to be huge. There will be huge pledges, and those money will be used very carefully through a clear mechanism that we are going to make sure that the donors, the international community, the region, and South Sudanese will be part and parcel of implementation and using those money that will go directly to the people of South Sudan. And another protocol among them, it is a protocol on constitution making process. For us to have a permanent constitution, Brother Majok, all these challenges that are facing the country, whether issue of federalism, whether issue of corruption, whether issue, all these issues are going to be addressed when we have a permanent constitution. And through TUMAINI initiative, we have agreed and we develop a very clear roadmap that will take this country to have a permanent constitution. And we are going to develop and conclude with a clear protocol on elections. As you know, South Sudan since 2011, since we have independence, has been going through transition and extension, transition and extension. That too must end. And we are going to have a very clear roadmap that will lead to the fair, credible, and democratic election in South Sudan. That are the protocols that we have concluded. We have initial all these protocols except 3 of them. And then the government left and they have never showed up until the very moment that I'm talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Laul Dau, for briefing the public and more especially the citizens on the protocols that you have already put in place. And both of you might have agreed with the government and your team to work on those protocols. Kindly, can you tell us what is the remaining part and how long will it take to complete the whole documents?
Honestly speaking, what has left, it is, we have concluded 9 protocols. We have initialed 6 of them, and 3 protocols are ready to be initial. And as you remember very well, about 2 weeks ago, His Excellency President William Ruto has visited has visited Juba. And they agree with His Excellency President Salva Kiir on the communique that was read and was shared widely. In that communique, they agreed, they have acknowledged 9 protocols that were very much finished. And they have recommended 2 weeks for the talks to end. So as soon the government comes, I believe what is left is less than, we don't really need 2 weeks because we need to start where we stop, which is very much check, making sure all the protocol are written in legal terms, and we set a date for the signature, and the country will move forward.
Thank you, Honorable, for that. Honorables, the citizens are glad that you have acknowledged and remind them that South Sudan has been going through numerous agreements to establish governments, and all these agreements end up by dividing the positions and the little resources that we have in the country. But what will be the difference between TUMAINI Peace Initiative and the previous agreements? What your team will change in the government of South Sudan, assuming you sign agreement today and all of you join the government in Juba? Exactly, can you tell the citizens, will it be different from the previous agreement, the previous oppositions, other political parties in Juba who are currently constituted the transitional government of national unity? Thanks.
Yes, there are so many things that will be different this time. First, the whole agreement is geared toward helping citizens. But how do you help citizens? That's why our priority, it is a donor conference. Why do we need donor conference? Because as we speak, $100 is equivalent to more than 500 something South Sudanese pound. Our dollar, our money has lost so much. So as I speak with you, and I'm talking to my friends, to my family members, to my colleagues, everyone in the country is facing food shortages. You'll be lucky if you have one meal. Some people go for 2 days, 3 days without food. You have seen how our soldiers have been going on for the last 13 months without salary. You have seen how the civil servants have been going on for the last 13 months without salaries. This is the result of an agreement that geared towards elites. But this, TUMAINI, will be different, because when you start with donor conference, the money will come, and we also have a protocol that talk about managing our resources. Brother Majuk, South Sudan is not a poor country. We are a very, very rich country. What we need is to manage our resources so that whenever we get money, the money comes in, those money need to go to a central bank, to the government account, and we make sure that those money are used as per budget. As we speak, there are people who are taking more than what they need. That has to stop. That is the beginning. So that we make sure that whatever we are collect, it goes to government account, plus the money that will come from the donors. What will be different this time, we are going to have a single account, and that account will be managed by, first, the opposition will be part of it. We have a mechanism, we call it National Implementation Oversight Commission. That commission, it will be led by the opposition, deputized by the RT governor. And the membership will be the member of international community, the people who are giving us money, they have to be part of that. Also, the civil society will be part of that. If everyone is watching the food that is cooking, it will be very, very difficult for anybody to steal money. Because now everyone, all the citizens are part of it. The religious leaders, the eminent personnel, the civil society are also going to be monitoring each and every money that are coming out from that account. They will go for the implementation. This is not, currently it is not in RRCs, but it is a new mechanism that will work to make sure that the agreement is implemented. That commission will report directly to what we call National Leadership Council. The National Leadership Council will be composed of the membership of His Excellency President Salva Kiir, deputized by Dr. Riek Machar, and the membership of all the 5 vice presidents will be there, plus the opposition leaders who are signing the TUMAINI initiative. Those leaders are always going to be meeting on the monthly basis to monitor the agreement and make sure that agreement is implemented into all the protocol. Unlike the situation right now, the agreement, there's no that mechanism. That mechanism is not there. What they have is what they call the so-called inter-party dialogue. This is a bunch of politicians who are only interested on the extension. You don't see them. You only see them after 2 years. Their job, they will come and they extend the agreement for 2 years. And after they extend, you don't see them until after another 2 years, they will come and extend it. These politicians, we are removing them. They are going to be replaced by the National Leadership Council. And that Leadership Council will monitor and make sure the agreement is implemented. We don't wait until the end of it. This is the body that also will be responsible for mobilizing resources and making sure that agreement is fully implemented. Under it, under the National Implementation Oversight Commission, there will be 2 commissions. One will be security sector reform, because we want to make sure we have an army that is well known with specific numbers, an army that will be outside of Juba, will be outside of major cities. Their mandate is to control the border of South Sudan. Okay, that is the security sector reform. We are going to have a national security that will be only interested in collecting the information, analyze them, and give them to the right authority for execution. We are going to have a police service that is geared of protecting the citizen and implementing the laws. We are going to have prison service and so forth. Under it, on the other side, there will be a governance commission. Why we need that? Because all the other commission, the corruption commission, election commissions, so constitution commission has to be led by incompetent, neutral South Sudanese individual. So all these new mechanisms that I have just narrated are not in the RRCs. And we have developed them with the intention to make sure that this agreement is going to be oriented towards helping the citizen. But what is more important after all this, it will end with election. We will not have an article that gives us an extension every 2 or 3 years. No. This TUMAINI initiative will end with fair and credible election. Everyone is going for the election. So basically, we are giving the power back to the citizen. So that you, the citizen of South Sudan, who are watching us now live, you have your power. You elect your leaders from the Buma, from the county, from the state, and from the national government. This is what the rescue plan is all about. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Laul, for laying out some of the procedures of how the TUMAINI Peace Initiative will impact the life of South Sudanese, and will also try to reduce this tenor of extensions and no proper monitoring. People are taking money at their will, and the economy is collapsing, and nobody is caring. Thank you for that. It's very hard to build trust between politicians and the citizens themselves. And I believe you will also tackle on how to engage the citizens and build that trust, not only between the politicians, but also between the politicians and the citizens of the country. As that being said, Honorable, did you, like the protocol that you have mentioned and the commissions that you have talked about, is there any way where you will be dealing with the issues of frauds, the issues of corruptions, and all that? And remember, we have anti-corruption commissions, which is currently at the knees. It's not even functioning. And there is office there, and there are few people who sit there in the office. But are they working?
Yes, because the first thing first, it is management of resources. You know, South Sudan, as I mentioned, we are not poor country. All we need is peace. We need reconciliation among our people. We have money that will come from oil and non-oil revenues. So what you do, we need to manage those money properly first. And then when you do that, one of the mechanisms we put on the place, it is that we have National Implementation Oversight Commission. It is a commission that everyone will be watching the account. This is something unprecedented before. So, no, you know, working in the government to steal the money when you are working with everyone that is observing, the media, the civil society, everyone is watching, is very, very difficult. And this is a strong mechanism that we have put as a way to establish our country. I will not be honest if I tell you as soon as TUMAINI is signed, there will be no corruption in the country. No. Corruption, it is going to take time and build strong institutions that will take time to transform and build a more perfect union. It will take time, but it has to start. And the TUMAINI is the beginning of that, by making sure we have a government that involves everyone in the institution. But also, another important thing, the citizen will have an opportunity to have their constitution. You know, when you have a permanent constitution, this constitution will address the issue of corruption. It will address the issue of federalism. It will address the issue of equality and justice, freedom, all that will be addressed. And we agree under the TUMAINI initiative that all the diaspora people from America, from Europe, from Australia, we have so many South Sudanese who are professional, academia and all this, will gather in Nairobi with our people here in East Africa, and they will develop their constitutional text that will be taken home. So our people in diaspora, we take them seriously. These are the people who have learned so much from the West. We need their views to come and contribute and have a constitution. Because when we have that constitution, the country will be different and will change forever.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Laul, for that. To our viewers, thank you for keeping watching and also listening to our guest. I will ask you, if you have any questions, kindly put it under the comment sections, and the Lagos State Media team behind the scene will display it on the screen for our guest to give you whatever answer that you want to hear from him. Before that, as you are also asking your questions, permit me to let Honorable also comment. As you have known, Honorable, we South Sudanese, and most especially in Juba, people have become so sensitive when it comes to the issue of gun shooting. You might have seen what happened on Wednesday to Thursday night in Juba. And you have seen how citizens were panicking, not only within Juba, everywhere across the world where South Sudanese are. We were panicking and people were worried. What is your take? Are the spokespersons of SOMA and other opposition groups that is negotiating currently with the government of national unity? Do you believe if such incidences continue happening in Juba, it will hinder the speed of the TUMAINI Peace Initiative, or will it really affect the peace that you are negotiating? Thank you.
First and foremost, we condemn in the strongest term possible the shooting that took place in Juba. Our innocent people lost their life. They lost their properties. People were scared. It was bad. As opposition, we strongly condemn that. It is unacceptable. It has to be addressed. But also, Brother Majok, it shows you that the security sector reform under RRCs is not working. Because clearly, if the security sector is working, there is no way such a big guns were shot across Juba and scared our citizens. On the other hand, you might have seen the statement from our leader, General Pagan, who talked about, first, as opposition and even under TUMAINI initiative, we have made it very clear that the National Security Act 2014, amended 2024, particularly the Article 54 and 55, those articles that talk about arrests without warrant and so forth has to be removed. In fact, we have mentioned it under the TUMAINI initiative. This is our position because those articles, they don't give citizen right. So this is a problem that is facing all our citizens. But on the other hand, although General Akolkor was the leader of security, was the leader of national security, and all these laws were passed under him, as we speak, he is a private citizen, South Sudanese citizen. If he has made any mistake, the government has a right to open a case and take him to a competent court of law. Let the justice handle the case. And if he's found committed any crime, he should face justice. We have no problem with that. But we cannot support a behavior of attacking him and his house and shooting happen. You know, his house, there are also children and his wife were there who have nothing to do with whatever General Kolko did, or any citizen who were visiting him, or his neighbors. I have a friend of mine who is a neighbor to General Kolko's house. He said they were spending hours under the bed. In fact, they were shooting into their own house. This is unacceptable and we condemn that. That situation, we are appealing to the new Director of Internal Security, General Akeng Tong, to work very hard to repeal Article 54 and 55 of national security so that all the citizens are free. If you are accused of anything, you go to the court of law, open the case, go for the warrant of arrest, and you arrest them. That's how country is led, and that's how what we need to see happening in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Wal, for adding your voice as a leader of the opposition group and also the spokesperson. Before we wind up with our show, we still have some few questions in regard to the government delegation. Previously, I think last week, the government delegation was supposed to come to Nairobi so that you can continue with the process or with the remaining part. Unfortunately, citizens are wondering what happened, why this government delegations is not coming yet. So kindly, can you brief the public in regard to that? Why are they not coming? And if there are some challenges, are you in communication with the government delegations? Do you know when are they coming and when you people should start or resume the talk? Thank you.
Well, first of all, we are not in communication with government delegation. We only hear through the mediation. But what I know, why the government delegation is not here, and this is what they said themselves. They said they have been waiting for money. And they have submitted an application to the Ministry of Finance, and they are asking for $7 million. And I think somehow they got approval of about $1.7 million. Now they have money, and I think they will be coming. But I wonder, what do they need this money for? Honestly speaking, Brother Majok, I have been in Nairobi with the government delegation. We are accommodated at a five-star hotel. We have enough food. You can eat whenever you want to eat. We have transportation. We have been transported anywhere we want to go with one of the best cars in this country. And we have a security that is protecting us. And also, our clothes are washed and taken care of. So if the government of Kenya is providing all this to us for the last 6-7 months, I have never gotten even a penny, and I'm okay. All my colleagues are fine. What do they need this money? $1.7 million. What do they need it for? To the point they spend 2 weeks waiting for the money. In fact, those money, if you take those money and convert them into SSP, there are billions of South Sudanese pounds. Do you know how many things you can do with that money? You can pay almost half of salaries of the security sector. You can actually help our people who are in the UNIMIS, who have nothing to eat. You can actually help so many mothers who are struggling with that money. You can actually help provide malaria medication for so many hospitals. You can actually help buy school textbooks for so many children. So I hope you and all the media can ask the government delegation, what do they need that money for? All they need to come here as soon as possible. They come and we develop a rescue plan for our country. We conclude and we sign it. And the more they wait, you know what it does? The more they wait without coming here, it means another woman will die while delivering in Rumbek because there is no hospital for delivery. Another child will die because there is no vaccine. Another child will sit in exam. You have seen a picture of hundreds of our citizens, our children were sitting, taking exam in Tony, somewhere in Tony, under the tree and under the sun. Kids were taking national exams. Imagine if the rain just comes in, what will happen? All these are the things that will continue to happen if the government delegation doesn't come to Nairobi. And they have no excuses whatsoever. They themselves declared to the people of South Sudan that we are waiting for money. But I don't understand what they need money for. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for briefing the public and the citizens to know what delayed them and what they are looking for, and the reason to why they are looking for that money will be answered by them, because we will be also reaching out to the government delegation in order to speak on the government side. The last question before I give you your closing remark. During the process of President Kiir removing the former spy chief, General Kolkorkuch, many citizens assume that your chairman, which is General Paul Malone, has hand in it. As an opposition group, were you demanding for us to have dialogue or to negotiate with the government? This security chief should be removed. Do you have hand in its removal or not? That is the question many citizens were wondering, and they want to know. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Brother Majok. I want to tell you and all our citizens who are watching everywhere, we in SOMA and other opposition group, when we negotiate with the government, we don't discuss personalities. General Akol Korkuch is just one of the members of the government. We discuss issues. And the issue that was discussed, and I've told you earlier, was the issue of National Security Act 2014 as amended 2024. Under that act, there is Article 54 and 55. Those articles, they are not in conformity with the Constitution of South Sudan and the international standards. We have clearly came out and called for those articles to be removed. And I would like to take this opportunity through Lake State Media to call upon the new Director of Internal Security and the Minister of National Security to make sure that those articles are removed, because they are not in conformity with our Constitution, they are not in conformity with the RRCs and the spirit of TUMAINI initiative. Because South Sudan have fought for justice, equality, and freedom for all. The work of national security is collecting an information, take them to the right authority after the analysis, and if you find to have committed any national security threat, you will be taken into court of law. This is the position of General Paul Malongawan, the former Chief of Staff, and all the leaders of SOMA and other opposition groups. We have never talked about personalities, not about a code, not about anybody personal issues. We talk about national issues, and that is our vision. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. While you will be closing to our viewers, we have come to the end of our show. Before that, I will give him 1 or 2 minutes to give us his last remark. And in your last remark, I've seen one of the citizens asking questions: what is making TUMAINI Peace Initiative unique agreements in comparison with the rest of the agreement signed and dishonored? That is a valid question, and I think I asked you before in regard to that. You'll also add into your closing remark. And on that note also, you will tell South Sudanese they'll hope and Christmas, will they still live in fear? I remember, Gerald, when Christmas time comes, many South Sudanese always leave the towns and go to their villages under the fear that something might happen during Christmas Eve. Kindly, you can give us your closing remark before we end our show. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank my brother who asked the question. TUMAINI, let me conclude that it is, in its name itself, it is hope. It is hope that we, the South Sudanese, the government, stakeholders, and our citizens, we are develop protocols that gear towards helping our citizens. And I'm sure all of us, whether our brothers in government or us in the opposition, our real intention really is to help our citizens. And the evidence are there. Majority of those who are in the government were part of the SPLA, who fought the war of liberation. So down deep, I know they have intention of doing something good for our country. Time has come for all of us to join hands. Let us implement this rescue plan. Let us make sure that we have a government that will be function, helping our citizens, a government that will be focused on making sure there is security sector reform, so that our citizens are not scared during Christmas. Should be not only Christmas, but you should be free as a citizen to celebrate Christmas wherever you are. Let us have an agreement, which is the TUMAINI initiative, that will actually deliver services. There will be good schools for our citizens, so that all our children can go to school in South Sudan. As we speak, there is more than 20,000 of our children in Kenya education system. Those kids need to go back home and become part of development and learn in South Sudan. Let us have, through TUMAINI initiative, we will have a government that will have a very clear policies on health care reform, where we will have hospitals, modern hospitals across South Sudan. We will have a government that will make sure that the roads are well connected with international airlines, regional airlines, all that services. We need to make sure that we have a country that is functioning. We are hoping that TUMAINI initiative will do that, and we are confident that what we have negotiated here will exactly deliver that to our citizens in South Sudan.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Laul Dau. We came to conclusion of our show tonight. We have to say thank you for coming to Lake State Media, and also we're thanking all our viewers in the clubhouse, and also those in YouTube and the Facebook who are watching live from us around the globe. Thank you. May God bless you. May God bless people of the Republic of South Sudan. And now we will catch up again should things change, and the next move of the peace talk, we will still bring you up. And also we are looking forward to talk with one of the government side official, should the time allow. Thank you. Have a good day, good night, good afternoon. God bless.
Ache back churu ding now. On your in runga die. On tiara okin you. Achilio. On your in runga die. On tiara okin you. Achilio. Toyina pia wala rumbe. Kain ping William. Toyina will wala pibor. Kain ping William. Atoin Juba, Malatori, Ayambio, Kayin Ping William, Atoin Benti, Wala Kwaju, Kaya Wow, Kayin Ping William, Atoin Malkal, Wala Pinyaram, Kayin Ping William,
Pandil Legisted in Anyam Baiban, Penyara, where in Anyam, Wawadia, Pindil Legisted in Anyam Baiban, Penyara, where in Anyam, Wawadia, in a bull wearing, in bull related, when a bull rally jam, when a bull your pie, and you're the garden, a good young polito, a garden of a bog with young polito, Kubolo Makur, Kumajang Makur, Aberemadit, Kaganyo by Kabino Pinom, and you're the garden, a good young polito, a garden of a bog with young polito, Kubolo Makur, Kumajang Makur, Aberemadit, Kaganyo by Kabino Pinom, Akija, Dungajuan, Abu Jajir, Abu Yellow, Abu Jajir, Abu Yellow, Abu Jajir, Babijan America, Abu Jajir, Babijan China, Abu Jajir, Babijan London, Abu Jajir, Babijan Dubai, Abu Jajir, Abu Yellow.
Atoin Apiay, Wala Rumbe, Kayin Ping William, Atoin Will, Wala Pibor, Kayin Ping William, Atoin Juba, Malatori, Ayambio, Kayin Ping William, Atoin Benti, Wala Kwaju, Kaya Wow, Kayin Ping William, Atoin Malkal, Wala Pinyaram.